Today is Wednesday, April 21st, 2021, and we are here for our live chat. We start at 7 p.m. Central Time, and we go for 1 hour. I'm looking at other stuff. But we're going to wait for people to get into the chat. I only came in, had less than a minute remaining for people to come in. I kind of just been sitting here watching television, so we're going to give them a few minutes to get in. I don't have a lot on the agenda today, so we may end early if it's not a lot going on in the chat room. So let me pull that up as well. I got all these cords everywhere. Let's see. All right. Seems like we have a lot of people have come in here. Some people was in here like super early, 5:45, an hour and 15 minutes. I think they thought I started at 6. So, but yeah. So we'll go ahead and just start reading some of these comments while more people come into the room. Sin Forrest was here saying, be back at 5. Mario here said, made it tonight. Hello from friendly Montreal. Hello, Mario. Ellie Scrapper says, greetings, T and everyone. I caught the flu, and that is why I have not been on the last couple of lives. Today is the first time I'm feeling better. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better. Sorry that you had to go through that. Susan T says, hi, T and all T Quilters from Chile, Pennsylvania. And she also is telling Ellie Scrapper, glad you're feeling better. Elaine Doucette's here says, we're all a resilient bunch. And we tiny frozen snowflakes on the air today. Thank goodness they melted. Tulips are shivering. Now, we had the prettiest snow. You know how when they make it snow in movies, and you can just tell that they've just poured something right in front of the screen to make it look like it snowed in some, especially some of the older movies. We had big, thick snowflakes like that. It was a beautiful, beautiful scene. None of it stuck, but it was so pretty to see that. It was just gorgeous. Mario says, white carpet here and freezing, but tomorrow is the last day. Friday should be high 60s. Yes. Betsy says, happy Wednesday, T Quilters. Vivian Cavie is here saying hi, T and everyone. Quilt Gal also says hi, T and everyone. It's cold and windy in Maryland. Deborah Quilts is here. Hey, Deborah. She says, hi, T and all T Quilters from Chile, St. Louis. Robin Boyd says, hello, Miss T and everyone. Robin, I did mail your books. Just making sure. I sent you an email, I think. I hope I did, with a tracking number. Janet Mackerel says, hello, T and Quilters. Diane57 says, evening, T and friends. Kim Burris is here saying, hello, T and everyone. Judy says, hello, T and Quilters. Let's see. C-Rex is here saying, good evening, Quilters. Katrina is here. Hi, Katrina. Let us know how Shari is doing. But she says hello to everyone. Doris O says, good evening, T and T Quilters. We had a beautiful sunny day in Glen Allen, Virginia. Linda Snart says, hi from Australia. Hi, Linda. Welcome to the channel. June Hansen says, hi, T and everyone. San says, hello, Miss T and everyone. Greetings from cold and wet San Diego. Uh-oh. Jackie K is here saying, hello, all. Hello, T and all. Received my swap blocks today. Thanks, T, for the beautiful card and gift. It will be put to good use. Yes, I'm glad it came, and it didn't take too long, so that's pretty cool. Billy Witherreed saying hello to everyone. Janice Miller says hello, T and everyone. Cheryl Clute also says hello, everyone. Kevin the Quilter is here. Hey, Kevin. Says evening, Miss T and all T Quilters. Lynette Williams is saying hey to everyone. Leetta Bryant also saying hello, T and T Quilters. Jackie K said we had a winter wonderland. Then when we woke up to about 2 inches of snow. Canada's kind of like what I consider Chicago, downtown Chicago. They only have like 2 months of summer, and then the rest of it you need a coat. um, Joan Elkins says hi T and everyone. Judy Smith talking to Kim. Let's see. Carol Green's here saying hi T and everyone. Kathleen Champ says hello T and all. Robin says I mailed your money too. Okay, that's great. And Marcia says hi T and everyone from windy and cold Northern Virginia. Sue is here. Hey Sue. She says hello all Teaquilters. Like Dave Murray used to say, hamster-sized snowflakes, laughing out loud. Yeah, they were huge. It was like, what in the world? I have never seen that. Well, that one year when I was a kid and it snowed and we had so many inches, I can't remember how many inches. That was during Christmas break, and I got a bike for Christmas and couldn't even ride it. But those were some big snowflakes, and they were falling fast. It was dense too, but it didn't accumulate, which was great. Australia is a fourth season in one day here today. You got that right. We had that in St. Louis too. Margaret Hassler says hi T and all. Emily Zihut says hi T and everyone. We had snow yesterday from Kim. Today just cold and windy. Remo says good evening T Quilt and quilters. Thumbs up. Katrina says that Miss T. Shari is the same. She had an allergic reaction to the IV antibiotic they originally started. She's now on a different cocktail. Okay, just checking, making sure. My brother is here, says, hey sis, hi everyone. Hope everyone is staying safe. Yes. And Kim is saying that to Katrina that we're still praying. Yes, always keeping people, especially our quilters, in our thoughts and prayers. And Diane says that in Texas, they even got a cold front. So that's pretty funny. So again, I don't have a whole lot to talk about today. I just wanted to go over what I did in the week, go over some stuff that came that I was shocked to see, and then talk about a piece of equipment that's broke, and then maybe do a quick tip on it's never too late to change a fabric in a quilt block. Still got comments coming in. Hold on. Don Cunningham is here, says hello T and everyone. Hi Don. And Benita Nance came in, said hi Miss T and everyone. Hi to you, Benita. And Remo says thank you for your prayers. They got all my dad's cancer. Now that is awesome. And I had thought about you earlier today too, Rose. I just didn't follow through with a follow up for you and your dad. So I'm glad to hear that. That is awesome. And Tucker came in. He says hey T and everyone. T, I want to say a big thank you to you and Kevin the quilter for what you've done once again for the block swap. T and Kevin are the best. Well, I can't wait to see what you do with it. I still haven't finished my last year's swap blocks, but hey, maybe something will happen. We don't know. Nisimas here says hey T and everybody. So yeah. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing I do want to say, because I know she's going to watch the upload, is that Lois, I did get your check in the mail today. I just haven't had time to, text you or email you. I know you don't want to use email, but I did get your payment. I haven't even opened the envelope yet. Also, talk about what came in the mail. Remember, Gwen Clark mailed her blocks on January 29th? Yeah. They showed up yesterday in my P.O. box. So it took 2.5 months for her blocks to get to me. And I put in complaints, about 5 or 6 complaints with my post office. I even put in 2 official complaints online. And then Gwen also went to her post office inquiring about her package as well. And the reason why it really wasn't a high priority for them was because it was non-priority mail. So when you're in block swaps, just want to reiterate, when you're in block swaps, always send your packages priority mail, because if they're lost, they at least have to pay you the minimum of $50. And they're not going to want to do that. But I still wanted to go ahead and open Gwen's package, because I opened everybody else's online. I had already sent Gwen a block from me and Kevin, and I think I also sent her one from Lois. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But so I'm just gonna keep a block, give Kevin a block. I feel sorry that she's not gonna be able to swap her blocks, and oh my gosh, they are gorgeous too. Not gonna be able to swap with us, and this is really, really sad. Now, I had mailed her blocks from me and Kevin, and then I even added in some. I finished off her bag by filling it with scraps that I had accumulated. As I'm going through things, I'm coming across fabric that I know I don't want to use because I'm getting fabric from other people, and so I'm incorporating new fabrics and getting rid of some of the stuff that I'm tired of looking at, like in my scrap quilts, like my strings and crumbs is where I mostly do that. But anytime you're making scrap quilts, no fabric is too ugly to put into a scrap quilt because they all blend very well. So, and she even put 20 in here for her blocks to be swapped, and she's saying she's got her return address information that I put back in the packages. But she's got pretty blocks. I'm so sad she's not going to be able to swap with everybody. If anybody that swapped wants to send me a block with a self-addressed stamped envelope included so I can mail one of these back to you, mail me a block for Gwen from you, and let me know so that I can get Gwen her package back. So let me know by Friday if you're interested in doing that so that I can let Gwen know. And then if you want to send a block and then put an envelope in there for a self-return to get a block back, like you can use like one of those mid-size envelopes. I don't have one in here, but this is but something like a package like this, you can just put it in a regular mailing envelope, put an envelope back in there so I can send you one back, and then we can have her swap some of her blocks maybe. But I just feel really bad that she didn't get a chance to swap with us. So I'll put 2 of these blocks aside, one for me and Kevin because we've already sent her a block. And then I'm just going to show you 3 of hers like I do everybody else's. So that's pretty. And she used different fabrics, but they're very pretty, well constructed. But very nice work. So I would definitely, I was so glad to see them, number one. And I was shocked. And the funny thing is, they didn't just put them in my P.O. box. They had the nerve to put a thing to have me sign for it, like it was sent with signature. So they know that they've done something wrong with it, but you don't get any kind of an apology or anything. It's just, you've got a package like it came on time. And this is totally ridiculous considering the number of times that I have contacted my post office, and just about every time I contacted, I let Gwen know that I had checked again, and she was like, you don't have to keep checking. No, I think they need to find our packages, you know. I was so sad that she couldn't participate in the swap, and her work is beautiful. And that's what Carol Green is saying, that her work is beautiful. Deborah Sims Brown says, hello, T and everyone. Hi, Deborah. Thank you so much for being in the Zoom. Appreciate that. Her first time in the Zoom on Sunday. Deborah Quilt says, I will send you a block for Gwen. So let me write name down. I'm going to put for Gwen. So at least she'll get a couple more back. Hi, T and T Quilter. So glad to be here with you. That's from Teresa McCormick. Welcome. And Remo says, love the block. Nisima says, wow, so sad she didn't get to swap because of the post office. Yes, and like I said, didn't even get any apology at all. Deborah Sims Brown says she'll make one. So that's really nice of you guys to do that. Diane says, all good idea. Nisima says her blocks are very nice. Elaine Doucette says gorgeous colors. Yes, they are. So Becca is here, says, hey, Miss T. Hey, Becca. Sure, Clute says they found in a basket under a basket. I'm sure they did because I had, even the girl that retired, whoever put this somewhere, and they said that girl was no longer working there, she didn't put it in the right place. So I'm agreeing that it probably was inside of a mail container and it was the only one in there. And eventually they recycled back and finally got to the bottom tray. Yeah, I think it was just stacked in the ones that they thought were all empty. But I'm still so glad they showed up. June Hansen says they're so pretty blocks. Linda says lovely blocks. Glad you are helping her work move on to others. Yes, I try to do what I can, even when I have a very busy life. But when I feel like somebody is not, it's not fair, then I try to make it as fair as I completely can at that time. So Sarah Haggerty is saying hello to everyone. Hi, Sarah. Don says Gwen, terrible that happened. Beautiful blocks. And Doris O says the blocks are beautiful. Ellie Scrapper says, T, you are just the best to do that for her, and now Teaquilters are joining in with you. So yes. And I'm sure that a lot of people are going to watch the upload. That's why I said I'm going to give to Friday. So I've got Deborah and Deborah saying that they're going to send. So that's pretty cool. So I'll wait for those two packages to arrive, and then I can swap those out. And if I hear any more by Friday, then I will also wait for those. So hopefully they all arrive. All right. So that's what came in the mail. So guess what finally arrived? That was kind of crazy. I'm going to sit that back here. I'm going to talk about what I did in the week because it leads up to the issue of what's broken. We've got Dolores Phelps says, hi, TNT Quilters. I will swap a block with Gwen also. They are lovely. So I'll put her name down. I got my screen a little bit closer, as you all see, and I can read some of the comments. Yeah. So we did have Saturday chat where I've been working on my Be Gone Surround project, and then I also worked on it in the Sunday Zoom. So I had Rose who ordered a couple of t-shirts, and so Monday I started working on those t-shirts, and the last time I used my machine may have been about a month ago. You all know that I do batch work, so I do all my t-shirts at one time. So I was working on a couple of t-shirts and got everything designed in the software, got ready to print, and it was just printing. It wouldn't print to the far left. It just kept printing wherever it wanted to print. And I finally, after like wasting about 3 pieces of full pages of vinyl, yeah, because I kept thinking maybe I'm doing something wrong, so I made some adjustments. I was trying to cut 2 at one time, and then I said, well, maybe I just need to cut 1 at a time, and so I put the thing back up there, and then it did it again. And yeah, I'm 3 sheets in, and it's still not cutting correctly. What am I cutting on? I'm cutting on my Silhouette Cameo 4 that came out in October of 2019. I got one of the first ones that came out. So my machine is exactly 1.5 years old. I don't use it daily like somebody, because I don't make shirts every day. I make shirts probably, I'd say on an average, probably every other month. But there may be some months where I may make 30 shirts in a month compared to the next month I may make 0 shirts in a month. So I'm not saying that I've overused it either. I don't feel like I've overused it. I'm still on my original blade. I've never had to even change a blade. And the machine is broken. So Monday, I'm trying all day to get this thing to work. At first I was designing the shirt, and then I was trying to get it to work and all of that. So then I finally start trying to see if I can Google any responses to the problem that I'm having. And nothing on regular online, but I went into YouTube, found somebody that was telling me that when it makes a grinding noise, that you can do such and such and such to fix it. It's inside the roller. It could be something sticking to the roller. So what my machine was doing was at the start point to the left, it would start grinding, and it would just grind and barely move. And then when it was supposed to do the start to get into position, it would jump like 3 inches instead of just jumping the little 1 inch that it would normally jump to get into position and cut position. And then when it was in that 3 inches, if I cut it off and cut it back on again, it will start the same process and continue to jump down those 3 to 5 inches or whatever. So it always kept going to the right, but it never would come back to the left and reset. So about 4, maybe about 5 o'clock my time, I go online so that I can see if I can go to Silhouette's website to see if there's anything I can do. Finally, they suggested I go into chat with somebody. So I put in for me to chat to somebody, put in all this information that they're asking you on all these screens about your software version, your firmware version, your machines type, my software on my systems, my megahertz on my system, or my gigahertz on my system. What version of Windows am I running? What type of computer system am I running? I mean, I bet you they asked 20 questions. And then the last screen where they say, do you want to chat or email? I put chat. And then it comes back and tells me that they're all gone because it's 4 o'clock mountain time that they stopped. So they just got off. Okay. So it did not send an email to them. It just left me dangling in a chat room that nobody is going to answer. So I had to get out of that, go right back in there and input all that same information again so that I can say, now email me. Now this is Monday, 5 o'clock. All day Tuesday, nobody called me. I was busy. I stayed around the computer so I can watch. I was mailing stuff, and I was also going through some of the stuff that I got from Diana. And nobody called me all day Tuesday. So this morning, it's Wednesday. I get up and I said, okay, I'm going into the chat room. So I wait until 12. Maybe it was 11. I wait till 11 so that it was time. It was like 10 o'clock for them. So they weren't just walking right in the door to deal with me. So I waited until 10 my time, 11 my time, 10 their time. I go in, fill out all the information again, and I'm waiting for a live chat. And at the top of the live chat tells me it's going to be 2 hours before anybody's able to answer your response. And guess what? They were correct. It was exactly 2 hours before somebody clicked in and says, hey, I'm such and such, and I'm here to help you with your problem. Well, I've been using my machine since I got it in 2019. I probably have done about 2 upgrades. And so apparently they wanted me to do an upgrade. Now, my opinion is it's not going to work because my machine it's not coming on and auto focusing. It's not getting into the right calibration when it first turned on. So I don't know what updated firmware and updated software are going to do, but they won't talk to you until you do that. So I'm just giving you all a heads up. So, of course, I had to do that. That took a half an hour. This lady apparently had somewhere to go because she was saying, I'm going to have to either contact you back through email or I can give you another representative. Well, we know I didn't get a response in 2 days from email, so there is no way I'm going to allow her to email me. So I have her give me another service rep, which takes about another half hour before that person clicks in. And then they wanted me to take video and then send them the video. So I had to figure out how to use Google Drive to do that and how to make the thing public so that anybody that had the link would get it. So it was a learning experience because I don't use Google Drive. I keep all of my data on my systems because I like having control of my data. Well, I couldn't send it straight from my system because it was a video and it was too large to send in an email. Finally get through all of that, and they tell me once they get the video, I've been 2 hours waiting. about an hour with the first person and then waited another half hour for the second person, and I'm about half hour in now with this second person. So I'm about 4 hours invested in my day with this, and they tell me that the machine's malfunctioning. And then they asked me if they already knew what my serial number was because I registered. So they verified that the machine that I'm talking about is that one because I could have bought another one. And so I said, yes, that is it. And then they informed me that the machine's out of warranty and there's nothing that they can do about it. However, we do have a replacement program where if you want, we can send you a machine, but we have to have you mail in the one that you have with the cord and with the USB hookup cord. There's the power cord and a USB hookup cord. They want both of those cords. They want the machine, and they want you to package it so it won't have any damages when it comes to them. And on top of that, they'll send me a machine back out, and I don't know if it's going to be a new machine or if it's going to be a refurbished machine. They didn't say. They said the person in the chat says a new machine, but I'm not buying that. But then I have to pay $100, and the $100 includes the machine and the shipping. So at this point, this Cameo 4 machine costs $300. So I decide, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do the $100 thing. So I go ahead and package my thing up, and I do my shipping at home. So I go to United States Postal Service to see how much they want for this box, because it's a huge box, because I can't find a box that's long enough to fit the machine and just this tall. So my box is yay tall. It's about 18 inches tall, 28 inches long. And the United States Postal Service wanted $67 to mail this machine to Silhouette. So that wasn't going to work. So then I go to UPS, and UPS was a little cheaper. And so I was able to ship it through UPS for only $33. So in the end, I'll be out $133 for this machine. And I'm just sharing this with you all, and I may make a separate video because I want to upload the video of what it's doing, because nobody is talking about this with the Cameo 4. Now, I'm not a representative for Silhouette Cameo. This is my second Cameo. Thank God that I had not sold my third one. I guess you can say I'm a pack rat, I guess. That I try to keep everything that I think I may need. And I had a nephew recently asking me about if he could buy the machine for me. And I'm so glad that I kept my Cameo 3. So I was able to go back and use my Cameo 3 to get my t-shirts out that I had to make for this week. Had I not had that, I don't know how long it's going to take for them to first get my machine. They're going to make sure they got everything included before they ship me anything. Now, I have been with other companies like Crafter's Companion that would send my package to me and wait for me to mail back the other stuff. And then if I didn't mail it back, they would bill me if they never got it back. But this was totally different, and I'm just sharing this experience with you all. And also asking if anybody has a brother cutting system, the one that they advertise towards the quilters. Let me know what your experience is with that. I decided to go ahead and spend $100 and now $133 with shipping to get another machine. So in case my nephew does come back and want a machine, at least I paid $133 for it over paying $300 for it. But I'm seriously considering that if a machine is only working for 1.5 years and that machine has been sitting in the same spot, it has not moved since I got it. So it has not been knocked over. It has not been bumped up against. It doesn't get traveled, haven't been anywhere. So there is no excuse for a $300 machine only having a lifespan of 1.5 years. So that's kind of ridiculous. So I'd like to know people's experiences, even if you send it to me in an email, or if you can put it in the comment section of the video once it uploads. You can put it in the chat here. I probably won't remember all of them, but I'm looking for people's experience with brother, because I'm just deciding that the next time I buy actual cutting system like that, that it would be a brother, because I'm not dealing with it anymore. This is ridiculous. They were very nice in the chat, but like I said, they never responded to the email inquiry for a service order. And yeah, very nice, but my stuff's not working. Let me see what the comments in here. I'm going back to see who else has come into the room as well. Judy says, T, I had a package returned from the UK and the US wouldn't refund my $85 postage. That happens to me whenever I get packages returned. They never take care of the postage. I have to either pay again if it's my fault, if I put the wrong address, or if the person who had me send it to them didn't give me their correct address, then I have them repaid to send it. But if it's my fault, I have to take the loss. By that time I'm doing that, I have not even made any money on the sale, and most likely I'm in the hole. But I do that because my customers are important to me. But I can understand that, and if it's returned and nothing was wrong, then I try to fight it. I haven't won anything yet, but I still try to fight it. I'm trying to sew on the binding. Do I sew on the front or back of the quilt? Also, we'll be sewing it completely by the machine. It just depends on your technique. Sometimes I sew my binding first to the back of a quilt if I'm going to do it by machine, because I can see from the front and keep my front really neat. But you can do it both ways, actually. Elaine Doucette says, I sew binding to the front side and hand sew to the back side. Judy says, I can't type tonight. Mario says, T, you sent me my package on the 15th, and today it got to Chicago. Patience is a virtue, as they say. And that's kind of weird, because it should, I think Jackie said that hers was stuck in Chicago for some reason. So it must be some customs. It must be going straight from Chicago into Canada. So that must be where the customs is, because Jackie had that issue too. So hopefully it'll be coming along within the next week or so. Claudette Bettis is here saying hello to you and everyone. Hi, Claudette. Welcome. Margaret says, you can't make this up. If it's in Chicago, it still has to clear customs. Be patient. Be patient is right. Yes, and that's what I think. I remember Jackie saying, that same place. Judy says, Katrina, I went to the local post office and they said it was not their fault. The UK returned. Ain't that something? Sin says, T, I bought a Brother Scan and Cut 650. A real workhorse. Love it. I don't like the newest versions. Don't need Disney. So, okay. So, I'm going to put Brother 650 on here. Because I don't even know which version is geared towards quilters. Not that I'm going to use it for quilters. I just know that I want the version that's for quilters, even though I'm just going to be basically using it for t-shirts. It's either this or I'm going to have to buy a professional cutter, and it just takes up more space, and so I'm trying not to do that. But if I can get something that's countertop based and not having its own stand and stuff like that, but I may end up getting a professional cutter. You just never know with me. Don't you just love the runaround? Yep. Shayna Crossy is here saying hello, hello. Judy Lemire says, oh my Lord, T. Judy Goody, oh no. They want our T to stand on her head. Deborah says, I hope you got someone's name. I did. I got both of the people's names that I actually work with in the chat. But like I said I had sent an email on Monday that nobody even responded to. I got a thing from the support place saying that they received my email, but nobody ever cared about it. So it was 2 days and working. It's like, no, we need to fix a $300 machine. June says, I was looking at one of those and glad I didn't buy that one. And Shayna says she has a Cricut. Now, the thing I don't like about Cricut, and I don't know if it's still true, but when I first bought my Cameo 3, you had to be online in order to use Cricut to print. And I didn't like that, because if I'm at a retreat or something and I don't want to use Bluetooth or my Wi-Fi in order to print. I didn't want to have the Cricut, so I don't know if it's still like that today, but that's why I picked the Cameo, and I haven't really had like major issues with it. I've had a few, and most of them have been my fault, so I've just kind of moved on. But yeah, I'm not buying. I don't know if I'm gonna go to Cricut. I think I will either do a Brother or a professional machine at this point, because I kind of like that Brother. You don't have to do a whole lot to. You can just scan in an image. You ain't got to do all this stuff and design and all of that. You know, you can just get it cut. So I kind of like that idea, and I'm gonna do some more research before I buy anything though. Phyllis G says hi, T and everyone. David Pigman's here. He says, T, my wife wore me down. Now I'm committed to picking up a Tin Lizzy Longhorn for her on May 22nd. Pray for me. Yes. Now you got to be careful with Tin Lizzy, because from what I understand, there is nobody providing service for Tin Lizzy. Last I heard, unless somebody else has bought them and is now providing service. But Tin Lizzy originally got sold, and any warranties that were affiliated with those machines are no longer being honored. So just make sure you know that. It's not that it's a bad machine. I got friends. I had 2 friends that actually had the Tin Lizzy. I currently got 2 friends that have a Tin Lizzy. And I had a third, the second one. The third one actually bought it from the second girl. But Tin Lizzies, they sew very well. And I've used both of their machines very much. So Sam says, so sorry this happened, T. Ellie says, T, I have them all, and the Cameo 4 have a lot of issues, and I had to send it back in the same week. Wow. Wow. Full disclosure, we just celebrated our 10th anniversary. The 10th is the Tin Lizzy. The 10th is the 10th anniversary. Hence, buying the Tin Lizzy Longhorn. That's cute. Tina says, it's the scan and cut. The CM550DX decent. So I don't know. Somebody says, I don't know if 650 is the latest version, but I know nothing about Brother Scan and Cut. I've seen demos on them, but I haven't been taking them seriously because I wasn't in the market to purchase anything. So, but now that I am, I'm going to be figuring a whole lot of stuff out on that. Cheryl says, you were good, David. Sewing by machine, I sew to the back and fold to the front, and that's what I do. I think I already mentioned that. The Crafty Gemini had the same problem with the 4 too. The 3 is the best, and I went right back to old trusty 3. Okay. 3 cut everything first time out, no problem. I just had to figure out my settings again, because cutting with the 4 was different settings than cutting with my 3. So to do like test cuts just to make sure I got my cuts correct before I print the whole sheet. But other than that, it print like a charm. So my 3 is sitting up there all pretty, okay? Jackie says, I also sew binding to the back and hand sew to the front. Cynthia Shade says, hello from cold Chicago. Hi, Cynthia. The Brother Scan and Cut 2, it is awesome. That's from Ellie Scrapper. Sam says, I can cut everything on my Scan and Cut, even chipboard. Cuts fabrics, reads PES, applique. Wow, now I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. And then operates wirelessly, etc. Excellent machine and durable. Be happy to answer any questions you may have. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So I'm going to start looking at videos, and then if I have any confusion, I like to know as much information before I go into a store. We do have a vendor here that sells the Brother Scan and Cut. And basically, they're going to be in sales mode. And that's not what I want to walk into first. I want to know some stuff about that cutting system before I go in there. Just so when they start talking about what they want to tell me, I can ask them about the issues that I've seen, from other friends or from online videos that I've watched. So thank you, Sian. I'll remember that. And Diane says, T, you need to send a letter to the head of the company. Trust me, they will be all over the place. And I started to go into do you know I do YouTube, I do product reviews, and this is why I'm here. I'm not here to complain. I'm here to let you all know, because I've done when I got that system, I let you all know that I have it. And now I want to let you all know the problems that I'm having with it. So I don't think it's fair when you talk about something that you're purchasing and then all of a sudden you don't see it, or I don't talk about it anymore. I just think you all need to know. So that's why I'm talking about it. And like I said, I still may do a separate video where I can upload exactly what it's doing, that I had to return it to the company. And there was a guy that had like a Cameo 2 or something, that he showed how you can take it apart and get to the rollers. Well, the 4 is made so different that I took out a couple of screws, and then I said, you know what, I'm not even going to try this. So I just put the screws back in there, because the last thing I needed was for them to say that I went in and damaged something on top of that. But I think 1-year warranty for a $300 product is, to me, is not long enough for a craft item that they know we don't use every day. So Sarah says, that's why I always pay the extra money for the extended warranties whenever the item is more than $100. Sue says, I personally will go to a brother dealer and ask for a demonstration. And that's what I'm going to do, but I want to have information before I go. They hate finding out a customer is unsatisfied. Tell that to the company, not customer service. I just recently purchased the Cricut Maker Joy and the mug press. I haven't opened them up yet because I'm just getting over the flu, but I hope that they work like they're supposed to. And Mario's reminding people to hit the thumbs up for T, please. 88 watchers, but only 40 thumbs ups. Thank you, Mario. I'm going to make you a moderator, too, so you can be in blue when you're reminding people to hit that thumbs up. But, yeah, so I just wanted to share that story because I feel like you all need to see the other side of this stuff, too. And I didn't label it Cameo because I probably will just do a quick video so I can upload the video, but it's on my cell phone to show people what it is that it's doing, and that there's absolutely nothing that you can do to actually fix that particular machine. So, yeah. So I spent 2 days with a broke Cameo, okay? The third day I got my stuff completed. But, I mean, the second day I got my stuff completed, and then the third day I went right back to working on it. So I spent Monday and Wednesday working with the broke one, but Tuesday I had to put the broke one aside so that I could get my orders out, and went back to the Cameo 3. So check out Power Tools with Thread. She may have a YouTube video on the brother scan and cut. Becky is a hoot. Okay. And I'm going to just Google those. And so I'll be out there looking for people, and I'm looking for somebody that actually does t-shirts and may want to cut fabric pieces, just in case. Diane says, I hit the thumbs up when I came in the room. But thank you, Diane. So, yeah, it was something. Oh, I know what I want to talk about. A teachable moment. Right here is a log cabin block that I had done. And then once I got through, I realized that I didn't like or didn't want to use. I liked the fabric that I had in the center, but I wanted to use this fabric instead. They were both purple. And the reason why I want to use this fabric is because I've decided now that I want to use it in the border. So sometimes when this was just a test block, but the test block came out fine. And so I was like, well, I really don't want to just have a test block and then make a whole nother block, because it took me a little minute to make that block. So I have plucked out my center square from the middle of this log cabin, and I am going to piece it back in. And when I started piecing this log cabin, that was the first piece I sewed to this piece right here. So sometimes we think, I got this piece in the center, I can't get it out. Now what am I going to do? I'm going to have to start over from scratch. And I don't do that. I just take the seam out around it, and then I go right back and sew it right back into the actual quilt block. So I'm not going to be losing this quilt block. I'm going to use this quilt block, because I was originally going to make 24 blocks and then decided I might want to do 36. So I am going to want to keep every block that I have sewn. I don't want any extras or tests. So, yes. Don says, I always hate when things break down way before they should. Shayna says, cool girl, she does have tutorials on the machine. Becky is great. I'm in her group too. Are you? Mary is here saying, hi, everybody. Ooh, I love that block. Well, thank you. It's a project I'm going to be teaching this at retreat. And so I went and did a test block to make sure. It was a test block, but I actually used my actual fabrics. And I thought that I was going to use another fabric in the center. And then I decided when I got to the whole quilt's cut out, okay? Except for the center squares. I only cut 2 of those. And I had the whole quilt cut out and then decided, okay, now what am I going to do for borders? And then when I realized what I was going to do for the borders, I go, okay, I got to go back and take this square out because I need that block. And it was funny because the number of blocks to cut 36, I had just enough fabric. So I need that block. I don't have room for another one. Sin says Becky's demo is on the newer DX models and not the 650W or WX series, which I prefer. I don't like the auto blade. Perfect to choose my own settings. Okay. So I'll be looking into all that too, because the auto blade on the Cameo was a pain in the butt sometimes. And then other times when it worked, it was just fine. But it was like it would get uncalibrated and I have to go back in and manually set it so that it would be at the right setting. And then I would still have to end up sometimes using the setting of ratchet blade, although my auto blade was in there just to keep it from changing the numbers. So sometimes the auto blades can be a pain in the butt. The Cameo 2 worked the same like the 3, so I would stick with those 2 and forget about that 4, laughing out loud. Yeah, but it's like I guess for $150, if I got a nephew that may be interested, and I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do, so I just went ahead and just did it. And like I said, all I got to do is talk about it and put it on YouTube when it comes, and then I can write it off on my taxes. So it'll be a tax deduction. It's another loss. So it's ridiculous. June says, I've been making log cabin blocks today, and I like yours. Thank you. Billy says, see power tools with threads. Becky Thomas, she does the vinyl on t-shirts and does machine applique with it. And I've said I was going to do some of that too, but I haven't yet because I haven't really been getting into machine embroidery lately other than making labels. But I do want to get back. And that's why I also wanted to make sure that it was something that would cut fabric, because I may want to cut my fabric appliques on it if I'm doing that as well. So that's the other reason why I wanted it. And I love that she said it reads the PES design, because that's where the applique portions are. So that's pretty cool. Hi, Lisa Peg. She says, hello, Miss T and everyone. Y seams, here we come. These are not Y seams. They're just going to be a set in seam, not a Y seam though. So what arrived today? Shayna, you're late. That was Gwen Clark. Her blocks came that were sent to me, mailed on January 29th, and they arrived yesterday in my P.O. box. And I just happened to be dropping off the mail that my orders I was putting into the mail yesterday, and noticed that it was in there because I wasn't expecting anything. So that's what arrived. So that's all I'm going to do is I'm just going to go back in here. I'm going to start with the first piece that I put that square on. I'm just going to go back in here, and from the back I'm going to put right sides together, and then I'm just going to be sewing this piece right back in here together. I'm going to basically be doing it sewing from the back side like this, and set this square right back into this quilt top. What time is it? It's 7:48. I can do that. My machine's kind of tilted a little bit because I was trying to get more work area right here. But let's see if it come on. Yeah, I'm just going to set this in here. I went back in the back. I took my seam allowances out and went back like a ½ inch from where I started. And because it's in a little awkward position, I don't know what I did with the pen already. Maybe I put it up. I don't know. I'm just going to put one pin in here just to hold it in place. I just had a pen. Don't know what I did with it. That's crazy. Oh, I put it in the board. I'm like, you got to find a pen. It'd be my luck I'd sit on it. And I'm not interested in that. Okay, so I've got my piece right sides together, and I'm actually gonna, I'm going from the back, the piece that's the shortest piece, the piece I sewed this to first. So I'm just going to sew that. You actually can sew it from either side, but I like going to the back because I can see the holes from where I put the seams in it before, and I know I'm in the exact same position. Just helps. So I'm sewing on a Wednesday. And I guess this time I am going to have to cut my threads just because it'll make it quicker. And so I've just sewn that one seam in now. The next seam that I sewed it to was this other piece of light fabric here on the side. So I'm just going to turn it. I got seam allowance going that way, coming back here. And so I'm just going to put my pin back in here just to hold in position so I don't have to worry about it. It's just like having an extra hand there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and sew. I'm actually going to. So I'm sewing again from the wrong side. I pinned on the right. For some reason, I just like seeing where I've already stitched. It doesn't matter which side you actually sew on though. So that's seam number 2. And this is how it's looking from the front so far. I've got, I sewed this seam first and then I just sewed across here. So next I'm going to sew this pink one back. And again, I'm going to put a pin in here to hold it, help me a little bit. And I didn't even press the seam allowance or anything, like where I had already folded it from folding it. So it does want to lift up a little bit, but it's not a big deal. I just put my foot down right on it. I got my machine turned and I keep hitting my knee lift. See if this one's sewed right. Yep. So I got a little stitch there. I don't know if you can see that. I got a little stitch right there. But when this whole quilt's put together, who's gonna notice that? I'm moving forward. It's good enough for me. And now I'm on the last seam here. And again, because I got the, I haven't pressed the seam allowance back the other way, it wants to fold a little bit. So I'm just putting a pin in there so that I can just hold it. And my seam came out a little bit more on this. It's getting close to the other seam line. So I'm going to start this one right where I want it to go. Okay. And I'm going to just sew this square right back in here with the new fabric that's going to be my border print. The other fabric was really pretty too, but I didn't have yardage of it. I just had the 2 fat quarter jelly rolls that was in a jelly roll pack. It was one of those that had repeats. Now I got to line back up with that line that I started this stitching on. And cut my thread. Diane says, can't see it. Yep, it says good enough for me. And there is my block. I just need to repress it. Now this blue one moved a little bit, so I'm going to fix this. Let me show you what happened. I've got a little pleat here. I didn't get that blue. Can you see that pleat here? Now I don't want that. I can deal with a stitch of thread. This is the end down here that the seam came out, and I didn't even want it to come out this far. So apparently I must have, when I cut my threads, it must have come out in the back. So I'm going to take this out and fix that part, because I don't want that. I can deal with one stitch of thread. But it's good to see like stuff like this when somebody wants to switch out a fabric and you can see how to do it. It can be tedious, but it took me longer to take the stitches out than it did to put them in, actually. So right here, I want to take that out a little bit more. You see, even people that know what they're doing, it takes time and patience. Nothing is going to be super fast. And the reason why it's being a pain is I may have to hand sew it. It's very close because it came out all the way. Let me put a pin in here. Hold it where I want it. And if I sew it this time and it still put the pleat in there, then I'm just going to sew it by hand. And I still might have a little hole I might sew by hand. And that's because my thread came out farther than I wanted it to come out. I'm going to actually lock this stitch. Okay. Oh, I got the pin still in it. So now you can see it's a lot flatter right here in this area. Right where that pink and blue, this top seam right here. I can't see what you're seeing. All I got to do now is just press that, and it'll lay nice and flat, and pull the strings that I just pulled out because I didn't. Here's one. The threads I just took out. And it doesn't even now look like I took it out. So, up close, the square doesn't even look like it came out and was put back in. So, you can change some fabric if you don't like it without going through all the trouble. And this is a harder block to take it out because, like I said, I was going counterclockwise for a log cabin block. But if I had sewn it in like a regular square, in a regular block, like if you were sewing sashing to a big block, it would have been a lot easier to do. So, hold on, let's see. Let me go back and read comments. Intrigued with this back seaming. Yes, that was Mario. Shayna says, is this a good channel for beginners? I teach toward the beginners, even if it's an advanced technique. I feel like the way I teach, that if you are a person that likes a challenge, that you could definitely do it. I have a lot of videos though that are geared towards beginners. I've done a string quilt that I walked everybody through, a series on that last year. I also have block videos. I have string piecing videos. I have crumb piecing videos. So I feel that I teach toward the beginner, because I give you all the information you need and then some. So I feel I do. Ooh, I'm in the blue mode. Ellie says, T, the post office didn't want to pay that money out, being they claim they are not making much money. But the reason why they didn't pay money out for this one, the package that was lost, is because it wasn't sent priority mail, and there is no insurance on first class mail. Oh, June says, put that on your board. She wants to see it on the board. And I don't know if I got my camera up pretty close. But if I pull up close so you can see the square where I pieced it in, you can see up close and personal. I have nothing to hide. I got a dot of thread. I can't get my hand in there. Up in here, you can see a stitch of thread somewhere. But I'm okay with that. I went one stitch. When it stitched that last stitch, it pulled over when it got ready to cut. And that's what that is. And I don't care about that. So one little stitch of thread. It won't stay up here. Let's see. Partial seam is what it's called for. Or a set-in seam. It could be a set-in seam because it's already stuff sewed. A partial seam is where you sew half of a seam and then you sew another piece to it and keep going, and then when you come back you complete the first and the second part. This one's actually a set-in seam. Tananji Roberts, I don't know if I pronounced your name right. I probably butchered it, and I'm sorry. She says, greetings to all. Welcome to the channel as well. Appreciate you commenting. My post office still says there's no idea about a piece of mail I sent Miss T the 1st of February. Now, I didn't even know that you had sent a piece of mail. So, if you have a tracking number, send it to me, and then I'll see if I can go up there and harass them some more, you know. I'm already up there dropping off mail anyway. 2022 is fastly approaching, so will you be announcing the date for the retreat? The retreat is normally the third weekend in June, and it starts, so the third weekend in June, but it starts on the Tuesday of. So that's how you will always know when the retreat is, and it's on the even year. I have not contacted the place yet because I'm waiting for, I was waiting for myself personally to get my second COVID shot, and it's scheduled for next Wednesday. So I'm trying to make sure and see what their requirements are, because that center completely shut down and has not been open. The church where I have my scrap quilting club, it completely shut down to any classes. They only had regular church, and they had assigned seating, so one person was sitting in a particular spot. Even if you were with your family, everybody had a spot to sit in. So I have not had any in-person meetings at all yet. So I figure once my big guild get back to meeting, a lot of the stuff as far as quilting related stuff will open up in Missouri. That stuff isn't open for us yet. So I have not contacted them yet, but I do plan to contact them exactly 1 year out at least. I'll probably do it in May sometime. But I want to make sure that I've been vaccinated before I even talk to anybody. So that's going to be the thing. And if they're not open, then I need to see if I can move us somewhere else, which it was already difficult to find places in June because of weddings and stuff. So I'm having that issue as well. And a lot of people have postponed weddings to 2022. So it's going to be interesting to see what I can come up with. But that's what the retreat will always be, that third weekend in June. But we go Tuesday. You arrive on Tuesday. You leave on Sunday. When do I need to send the block? As soon as possible. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I want Gwen to get her blocks back. So that was from Deborah asking. So if you could get do a block by the weekend and get it in the mail Monday or Tuesday, I would really appreciate it, since Gwen has been waiting forever. So I would like for her to be able to get her blocks back without her waiting too much longer. Ever forward, that's sin. Bonita says moving forward, laughing out loud. My last day is the end of June. A little nervous. That's Lisa. Congratulations, girl. I'm going to tell you, it ain't nothing to be nervous about. When you are a crafter, they say normal people retire and then they die from having nothing to do, well, that won't happen to a quilter. We always got stuff to do. So don't even be nervous about it. I found out that I saved money by retiring. I didn't spend as much money in gas. I wasn't buying meals. Even if I was bringing my food, I would go to the grocery store and buy food for the week and just put it in the refrigerator at work. And I still spent a lot of money. And then you still got to eat out on some days for people birthdays, special events. You got to donate to retirement parties and somebody's when you're working in a big office place, you got a lot of people that have critical needs, like they may have had a house fire or kids selling stuff for the school. You're going to be rich when you retire. I'm, I'm just exaggerating on the rich part, but I'm serious in that you're not buying work clothes, gas, all those extra things that you don't even realize you spend money on. It starts to add up. So I found I spent less money when I retired. So get ready. Teresa says, that is slick. Thank you for showing how you did that. You're welcome, Teresa. Amazing tea from Mario. You're welcome. And thank you so much. Let's go, Tea Quilters. Let's hit the thumbs up button. There's 89 in the room. Yep, I show 91. Cheryl says, bye everyone, driving home from cheer jam, my home away from home for 3 more weeks. Good night, Cheryl. I'm sure she's probably gone now. It's 10 minutes later and we're actually over, so I'm going to be getting off here really soon. It's going to be up and down. Been staying on 89. They're talking about the count. Don says, T is an excellent teacher and her videos are well planned and executed well. Thank you, Don. Mario says, this is going to be an amazing quilt. Yes, I can't wait for retreat for me to start working on it. So I just, since I'm the instructor, I always like to do one block before I show up so I can tell people you can do it the way they tell you, or you can do it this way, or you can make your own way. But I like to at least know that what we're going to do will work. So it will work, and I'm ready to teach in May. We got a retreat scheduled for Memorial Day weekend in May. Suzette says, the post office reimbursed insured amount on my stolen quilt. Thank goodness. So they at least gave her the insured amount, and they didn't give her any trouble. So that was good, because that was where the box, they delivered an empty box. It's like, yeah, right. Who got the quilt? So at least you got something out of it, and that's really good. Deborah says, I like your block, but I'm not going to do the project. That's very nice, T, and I like all the colors in the block. Thank you, Ellie. T and Tiffany are both great for beginners. Shayna says, thank you, T, for answering my question. Thank you, Don, as well. I'm a machine embroidery girl, but I'm interested in quilting. Learning the basics first. I'll check out T's videos. Yes. So if you've been machine embroidery and you're used to working with fabric and stuff like that, it's just a matter of applying that same skill set. You'll be great with quilting. The hardest part to me, beginning quilting, is cutting. If you get your cutting right and know your 1/4 inch seam, it's going to be a lot easier, and it's going to pave your way as you continue to quilt. So make sure you're cutting correctly, and make sure that you know your 1/4 inch seam. You can do anything. It just takes patience. I will be praying, because I am ready to be with some creative people. And Kelly says, I would have been better if they'd been able to locate the stolen quilt, but at least they honored the insurance. Yeah. Retirement does free up a lot of fabric money. Laughing out loud. Cook Girl says, I found out that I'm buying miter toilet paper since I retired. Buying more toilet paper since I retired. Now that's probably true, because you're at work 8 hours, your 8 waking hours of the day, and then we're only home. You use the restroom once in the morning, and you got like 4 or 5 hours, and you're back in bed. So yeah, I can see that. So that's pretty cool. Teresa Sample is here, says, hard not to gain weight being home instead of working. And that's another thing that I did, and I didn't even realize I was doing it. My first couple of years, I was like, I realized that I was eating all freaking day. I would have my meals, I would have a snack, I'd have candy, and then last year, like I'd say like maybe October or somewhere in 2020, I'd put myself on your whatever last time you eat at night, you're not going to eat for at least 12 hours. And I'm going to tell you, the first 2 weeks, I felt like I was starving trying to wait for them 12 hours to pass. Now, I can go and look up, it'll be 16 hours and I haven't eaten. And I don't know. Let me see if it's on my phone. How many pounds I've lost just doing and it's not really a diet. It's just not eating all day. So let me see if I can find where I started and how many pounds I lost. Okay, so I can't see it. Hold on. I can't see where it's not giving me the high point, because then as soon as I get to that high point, so it's been like 10 pounds that I've lost just not eating all day without being on a diet and without any continued exercise. So I wanted to just stop eating. And that was the main thing. And I felt like I was starving myself to death when I first started. But that's the thing with being home, is that you don't realize you're eating as much as you're eating. So, so Teresa is exactly correct. Darlene says, hey, I forgot it was Wednesday. Just got here. We're about to leave, girl. You're going to have to watch the upload. And even Mary says, very true, Teresa. Oh, Teresa Sample, that's one thing I don't need. That's Lisa. Diane says, Shauna T also has a Facebook group, Teaquilts LLC. I do. And you're more than welcome to join. Remember, when you're joining Teaquilts, there's 3 questions you've got to answer. And that just lets me know that you are a quilter or a fabric person, so that it keeps the spammers out. I've had a lot of spammers trying to get into Teaquilts. So if you don't answer those questions, then I don't let you in. So it's a private group, but it's only private so that I don't have people putting in sex videos. Has anyone on here made a quilt using the Cotton Theory by Barbara Cotton? I did one years ago, but I don't have any videos on that. I did do that. I was heavily into it at one point, but I have not done one in years. And if I was to do one now, I have to go back and start over researching. I probably still got a book or two about it. I thank God for my retirement. It allows me to look after my partner. That's from Mario. I make cookies for the grandbaby and she doesn't eat them all. Laughing out loud. That's from Teresa. So you got to help her out. Diane says, T, I lost over 150 pounds when I decided to stop eating just because it was time to eat now. And I only eat if I'm hungry. And that's true. And we are so geared toward diets telling us that we've got to eat at 3 square meals a day, breakfast being important. I don't even eat breakfast. I eat breakfast foods, but I don't eat breakfast. You all know that I'm a night owl. I might be eating my last meal of the day at 1 a.m. So there's no way I'm going to get up and eat breakfast during the breakfast hours. So if I go into 1 a.m. like I did last night, I ate my last meal at 1 a.m. I didn't eat today until like 5:30, 6 o'clock. So it's way over the 12 hours. And I'm not starving like I was when I was eating before. I think we get accustomed to eating at particular times, and then that's what our body wants. But it took me 2 weeks to break that cycle. I think we all at some point was doing that and then realized that the clothes was not fitting the way it once did, laughing out loud. You got that right. I gained 35 pounds and I retired in 1994. Unfortunately, most of the extra baggage is still hanging on. Laughing out loud. Congrats, Miss T. Well, just 10 pounds help a lot. I would like to lose 50 pounds. That's what I would like to lose, is 50. But those extra 10 pounds, they were in all the wrong places. So I wanted them gone. I feel a whole lot better. So, great. Beth Essence here says, I've sewn my whole life. My training is in apparel and alterations. I have done a few small, simple quilts, but I have so much scraps from fabric that's not suitable for quilts? Any ideas? It depends, because you can make memory quilts. You can use any fabrics to make a quilt. That's what the original crazy quilts were. They used a lot of satin type fabrics, laces, things like that. If I'm going to make a quilt with that, I probably would interface them if you want them to last long. I know that our ancestors did not do that. And I think you can make a quilt with any fabric. If it's a dress material and you want it to last, I would make sure that it's all pre-washed. And then I would interface it and then use it as regular fabric. The interfacing is going to help to stabilize it a little bit and make it last a little longer. So you can quilt with any scraps you want, and that would be perfect for a crazy quilt, or as we also call them, crumb quilts. The only difference between a crumb and a crazy quilt is that the crazy quilt has embroidery stitches on top of the seams. They may have some decorative handwork inside some of the patchwork. So that's the only difference between a crazy quilt and crumb quilts. So any fabric scrap is good for quilts. Back in the day, my auntie would use old clothes for her quilts. That's exactly. And I make memory quilts out of clothes for customers all the time. So I have used a lot of different textures. I've even used the sweatshirt in a quilt with regular cotton. So I just make it work. So just have good piecing and make sure and when you're quilting, you're going to make sure you're just doing some more detailed quilting more than just in a ditch or something like that. I do random all over quilting to make sure that those pieces stay down. And then Beth ST, quilters can help you with that. Exactly. So we're going to go ahead and end here tonight. We're like 16 minutes over. I wasn't even thinking I was going to be able to talk to you all that long. Just sewing a block, and then the questions and the things that happen afterwards, we're now over. So thank you all so much for being here today. I'll be back Saturday night with the live sewing chat. We're going to be here at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time for 2 hours, where I'm going to go back to working on my Begone Surround. And we're going to continue with the next step. So I will see you all then. Thanks again. Stay safe, be blessed, and quilt out, everybody.